Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And John, we're now going to go to the State Department. We have Tommy Pigott, who is State Department spokesperson, and there's so much big news. There was the big hearing yesterday on Venezuela. Obviously, people looking at what may happen with Iran. Who better than the spokesperson there from the State Department? Tommy Pigott, great to have you back. And let's start with Iran, because the president has already said, quote, time is running out for the mullahs and for the leader there. What do you think may be happening? I mean, we're seeing the images. Obviously, the president hasn't been shy. He said it a couple hours ago in the cabinet meeting that he has a lot of assets in theater and the clock is ticking.
Yeah, look, I mean, the president's been clear that he retains his options and that he is monitoring this situation incredibly closely. And I think it's also important to put this in the context of the maximum pressure policy that was reinstituted by President Trump when he returned to office from day one. And that's a policy about denying the Iranian regime the revenues they need for their malign activities. That includes the nuclear weapons program that was obliterated by the president. That includes funding their terrorist proxies. That includes their ballistic missile program. So you have a regime in Iran that, instead of funding food, water, energy infrastructure, wasted their vast wealth on these malign activities. And we've taken a maximum pressure policy under President Trump to deny them the revenue to do that. So I think that's really important context here from President Trump and the policy that he's had very clear-eyed from the beginning of this administration.
Yeah. There's no doubt, Tommy, too, just like you said, what a contrast from the Biden administration where the pallets of cash came in. President Trump said before, you better shape up. You can't come close to a nuclear weapon. He went in and went after those three major sites. Now he has said, look, we have all these assets in theater. How complicated is this? And he also says that they're talking. Trump has already come out, the president said that there have been a lot of reaches out by the Iranians, that the question is it words? Is it actions? There's probably a lot of back and forth.
Well, the president has shown two things. First, that he is willing to meet with anyone when it's in our national interest to do so. And that last part's key, when it's in our national interest to do so. But he's also shown again and again that this is about actions that are taken, not trust. This is about actions that we can see being taken. And all around the world, all these different deals that we're talking about, we need to see actions. And so we have a president that is willing to meet with people when it's in our national interest to do so. But then on that second point, needing to see action to back it up is so important. So the president's been clear on this. His goal here is clear. He restated this several times about Iran, the Iranian regime, stopping their malign activities, the fact that he's monitoring the situation incredibly closely, and the fact that he retains his options to respond.
Judge Weinberg.
Good to talk to you again, Tommy. Let me ask you this question. You're hearing a lot about they want to have talks. Trump says, the president says he's willing to talk, but they keep talking about the nuclear deal, and I'm all for dealing with the problem of a nuclear threat by Iran and making sure they can never have that over the heads of Western civilization. But you don't hear talking about regime change. You don't hear Trump talking about protecting the 30-odd thousand people who've been disappeared, the tens of thousands who've been killed. He can't let that regime stay in place. You see no reporting on that, no discussions on that. Is he giving up on this resistance by the Iranian people against this despotic theocracy?
Well, you saw the comments from the president about the fact that the Iranian regime was going to hang hundreds of people. And because of President Trump, that didn't happen. So you've seen that from the president. The president is very clearly guided by our national interests, as he has from day one. I can speak from the State Department here. Every action that we take is guided by the simple principle: does it make America safer, stronger, more prosperous? So we've identified a clear goal here. He's monitoring this incredibly quickly. You've seen the president taking action to stop the hangings of protesters, as the president's described. So he's monitoring this very closely. I'm not going to predict what the president's going to do. The president retains his options, and that's incredibly important. I keep on saying that point because it is so important. He retains his options here. He's focused on the national interest. He's monitoring this very closely, and we'll see what the president decides to do.
You know, Tommy, the other big topic, of course, is Venezuela. And yesterday there was that hearing with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who was, by the way, fabulous. I love the Secretary of State. And he did such a great job. But it really epitomized sort of this, where we are with the politics with the Democrats. You know, the Republicans would say, thank you for what you're doing to help the hemisphere. Thank you for getting rid of Maduro, taking out the drug boats. And the Democrats were essentially saying, how could you go after those wonderful, sweet people on the boats? I mean, it was really alternate universe. And I can't even imagine what it's like for you as the State Department spokesperson dealing with it's like two alternate worlds.
Well, I can speak for myself here saying I'm incredibly proud to be part of this team under President Trump and Secretary Rubio. I think what you saw there was Secretary Rubio clearly presenting the foreign policy of President Trump. And it's a clear-eyed foreign policy that is based on a really simple, but it's a powerful principle that we should do what's in our national interest. Like I said, in terms of the Iran question, does it make America safer, stronger, more prosperous? And what we've seen talking about our hemisphere here in terms of countering the narco-terrorists. In Venezuela, you saw a targeted operation to bring an indicted narco-terrorist to face American justice. But you've also seen designations across our region of these cartels as what they are, as narco-terrorists. And you see cooperation with countries around our region to combat these narco-terrorists because, of course, it hurts the United States when we see this flow of drugs coming into the United States. But it destabilizes every single country in our region. And the president has been clear. He promised to stop the flow of deadly drugs, and he's taking action to do that. Talking about the boats in the Caribbean, for example, down close to 100%, something like 97% fewer drug boats. Each one of those drug boats representing 25,000 Americans that could be poisoned. The leading cause of death in America for Americans aged 18 to 45 being overdoses fueled by fentanyl. We have a president that's taking that seriously. We see cooperation around our region. And watching the secretary yesterday outline this foreign policy, I couldn't be more proud to be part of this team under President Trump and Secretary Rubio working to implement our foreign policy, President Trump's foreign policy, every single day.
And I understand that drug deaths are down, and it's probably because we took some of these boats out.
Yeah, I mean, every one of those boats representing 25,000 Americans that could be poisoned by the drugs on those boats. The president also, I think those designations of cartels across the region are also so important because it opens up tools to be able to combat these narco-terrorists. And also, like I said, the cooperation that we have with so many countries around our region, it really is so important. I mean, we have cooperation with all these countries. What we had in the illegitimate regime under Maduro was a regime that was cooperating with the narco-terrorists. He was an indicted narco-terrorist. And that is such a contrast to the other countries who are working with us on this. And so the president's taking this seriously and he's taking action.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Tommy. We really appreciate it. Really, really important stuff. Great stuff. And obviously, I can't even imagine how busy and how crazy and how complicated the situation is there. You guys are juggling so many things, and they're all huge things. And bravo to all you guys. I mean, it really is impressive. Tommy, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.